Washington, on Wednesday night, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene will take the field with the Republican congressional baseball team, joining the ranks of more than a century's worth of lawmakers living their major league dreams in the name of charity and bragging rights. The game, 7 innings on a big league field, is a Washington tradition from an earlier era, marked with the kinds of odes to bipartisanship that either cause eyes to roll or people to admit that yes, it's important after all to remember that lawmakers are people too. And the lawmakers take it very seriously. They've been practicing daily before dawn, and members of both teams have waxed poetic leading up to the game about how good a pitcher former Representative Cedric Richmond was before he was poached by the West Wing. After the 2017 shooting that targeted a Republican practice and nearly killed House Minority Whip Steve Scalise, the game has bridged our current era of violence and polarization with a different one. But isn't it strange, I've been asking Democratic lawmakers to play against Greene in a charity game about bipartisanship, given, all of it. Greene was just one of 147 Republicans who voted against certifying the results of the 2020 election after the January 6 insurrection, but she's been among the loudest cheerleaders of false election conspiracies. Every House Democrat and 11 Republicans voted to strip Greene of her committee assignments in just her second month in Congress due to her history of racist remarks and comments she had made prior to her election in support of violence against Democrats. In the months since, she's harassed Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Cori Bush to the extent that Ocasio-Cortez raised security concerns and Bush chose to move her office away from Greene's, for team safety, voted against awarding congressional gold medals to the Capitol Police officers who responded on January 6, and compared coronavirus restrictions to the Holocaust.
But members of the Democratic roster largely seemed miffed that I'd wondered if politics could get in the way of a bunch of politicians playing baseball. I think this is one of the times that, even though I still am mad at many Republican members that supported at least the thought behind the insurrection in terms of overturning the election, that we're going to just focus on the game, Arizona Representative Ruben Gallego said. He definitely isn't worried about Greene's skill on the field, either. If she plays baseball as bad as I saw her shoot the M82, I don't think she's gonna be a very effective baseball player, he said, referring to a campaign ad where Greene shoots a Prius with a .50 caliber rifle. In response to a request for comment for this story, Nick Dyer, the spokesperson for Greene, said in an email, over 70 Democrats have signed up to expel Congresswoman Greene from Congress and every Democrat voted to remove her from committees. Who really are the aggressors? Who is really being nasty? Dyer went on to blame Greene's series of public confrontations with Democratic members on Democrats, including Representative Eric Swalwell, who he said had had a mental breakdown in the Capitol, and added, "It's time for you to learn to be an actual journalist instead of a gossip columnist." Swalwell, another Democratic player, compared the baseball game to the Olympics, where countries with many differences come together to celebrate sports, and to former President George W. Bush throwing the first pitch at Yankee Stadium after 9/11. "I don't want politics to, be a part of the game," he said.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.